Hey guys, this is Dan, and in this video I want to share with you the fastest way to learn macaco. Now, macaco is one of my favorite moves because it's a big door opener in terms of movement possibilities. This movement linked to so many movements, and it's also an initial requirement for many other complex patterns of motion. It's also the first movement that you can learn as a beginner or intermediate that incorporates this backwards motion. And if you never experience this backwards flip, this is one of the most addictive feelings that you can experience from movement. The technique that I'm going to share with you called the 3 lines technique. And you basically want to imagine 3 lines, parallel lines, that your hands and legs should land on. Your movement success is highly dependent on the way you place your hands and legs, and especially the distance between them. So the secret to get this movement right is the way you place your hands and legs and the distance you have between them. So we're going to touch on the wrist placement, the hand, the hips, the legs. So without further ado, let's jump into the actual steps.
So pay attention that I'm twisting my wrist and pointing towards my feet, and this key point is what actually allowing me biomechanically to flip over my shoulder without over twisting or injuring the shoulder. So even if you do everything right and your wrist isn't placed in the right way, it won't let your shoulder rotate and complete the motion. The whole idea of this move is to push your hips above your shoulder. So it's not about the strength you push the floor, it's about which part of the body is leading the motion. The second you pass the point when your hips above your shoulder, then you can change the lead and let your legs lead instead of your hips. A common mistake that I see a lot at the beginning, people stiffening their hips and not letting them to open up fully. Instead, keep it open until you get with your hips above your shoulder. The whole idea here is to create the seesaw effect when you have leverage over the rest of the body just by the swing of the hand. But you're probably still asking yourself from where to start. So now, after you have those key points we mentioned previously, start jumping sideways, and with each attempt try to jump higher to get this backwards flip. Always have in mind the 3 lines: twisting the hand you put on the floor, swinging the other hand, and jumping with the hips above the shoulder. Lastly, the best tip that I can give you is that all those actions have to happen simultaneously as one piece, as one motion. You're not putting your hand, then jumping, then swinging your hand. All those actions are one motion.
So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some beneficial insights. You see, so many people will try to learn it by trial and error. And the problem with this is that it takes too many attempts to actually find those nuances, those little tweaks that actually make all the difference. And this is why so many people quit in the process, or even worse, get injured as a result. So instead, you can find the recipe from those who master the process and jump ahead using their knowledge as your starting point. So if you want to get the full package, the full program of movement mastery, really the blueprint of movement, you can find it on my website. So the link down below, so find it and start moving with freedom and elegance.